Welcome to the deep dive.
Today, we're focusing on a technology that's, well, really set to shake things up in commercial real estate.
Mhm.
And we're looking specifically at how a company like DealPoint Merrill might use it. They specialize in those value-add retail redevelopments and also self-storage.
Right, so the focus today is generative AI or Gen AI and what it could mean for their kind of operation.
Exactly. So your mission, should you choose to accept it, listener, is basically to get a quick, clear handle on Gen AI's uses and strategic impact in this space.
Yeah, without getting totally bogged down in the tech jargon, think of it as the express lane to getting up to speed.
Okay, let's jump right in then. What exactly is Gen AI? Let's unpack that a bit.
Okay, so simply put, it's AI that's learned from tons of existing data, text, images, code, whatever.
Right.
And now it can create completely new stuff based on that learning. New text, new images, even design ideas.
And we've all seen the buzz lately, haven't we? Tools like ChatGPT making it super accessible. It kind of feels like the early internet days again. It really does. And it's hitting commercial real estate at an interesting time.
Oh, so?
Well, firms are under pressure. They need to be more efficient. They need to adopt smarter tech, and investor and tenant expectations. They're definitely rising. So Gen AI is popping up as this potentially powerful solution to meet those demands.
And this isn't just talk, is it? There's actual industry movement here.
Oh, yeah. Look at the numbers. Deloitte found in 2024 that over 72% of real estate owners and investors are actually putting money into AI.
Wow, that's significant.
And JLL, back in 2023, called AI, especially Gen AI, the most impactful emerging tech. Over 80% of firms they surveyed plan to up their tech budgets.
And we're seeing the ecosystem grow too, right? Like
Yeah.
hundreds of prop tech companies offering AI services.
Exactly, over 500 now. Plus, the big players, like JLL again, are building their own Gen AI platforms. That tells you something.
It really does. So the big consulting firms, EY, JLL, they're saying adopting AI is, what was the quote?
No longer optional, it is essential for remaining relevant.
Okay, so it's shifted from nice to have to need to have.
Pretty much. It's gone from hype to a real strategic priority.
Which brings us squarely to our focus. How can a company like DealPoint Merrill, with its specific niche in value-add retail and self-storage, actually harness this Gen AI power?
Okay, good question. To answer that, let's quickly recap DealPoint Merrill. They're vertically integrated, right? Handle everything from buying to managing properties.
Right. Big focus on turning around shopping centers and then the self-storage side. Just storage, I think.
Yeah, Just Storage. Launched earlier this year, already over 20,000 units across 10 states. So they've got quite the operation.
Okay, substantial. So where does Gen AI fit in? Where could it make the biggest difference for them?
We've identified 5 key areas, sort of high-impact zones that really align with their business. Acquisitions, development, property management, and capital raising.
Okay, let's break those down. First one, accelerated site planning and design. That sounds like a big one. Development timelines can really stretch out.
They absolutely can. The traditional way involves, tons of planning, back and forth on designs, feasibility studies. It all adds up. Takes time.
So how does Gen AI change that game?
Well, think about generative design tools or image generation models. They can spit out site plans, 3D models, even early architectural concepts really, really quickly.
How quickly are we talking?
Minutes, potentially. You feed in the parameter zoning, maybe sun angles, traffic flow ideas, and the AI can generate multiple optimized options almost instantly.
Wow. So you're exploring way more possibilities right from the start.
Exactly. Instead of just a couple of manually drawn options.
And the practical benefit, beyond just being cool tech.
It means shorter development cycles, definitely, and lower design costs. Some architects using these tools are reporting like a 30% cut in that initial preliminary design time.
30%, that's not small.
Not at all. And faster planning means faster to market, right? Which impacts your leasing, your revenue,
Okay.
getting that Just Storage facility or redeveloped retail space open sooner. It could even help them spot opportunities in up-and-coming areas faster.
Okay, makes sense. Use case number 2, smart property operations and tenant service. Managing retail and thousands of storage units sounds demanding.
It is. It puts a real strain on staff. You've got repetitive tenant questions, maintenance popping up, just lots of routine stuff across many locations.
So how does AI help take the load off?
AI agents are the key here. Think chatbots, virtual assistants, but specifically trained for property management.
Okay.
So a tenant-facing chatbot, for example. It can answer common questions. What's the gate code? How do I pay rent? process maintenance requests, give account info.
Stuff that takes up a property manager's time now.
Exactly. And it can triage issues, route them to the right person.
Yeah.
And it's available 24/7, so no more waiting for office hours for simple answers.
Right, so the Just Storage Manager isn't answering the same gate code question 10 times a day.
Precisely. The AI handles it instantly. Frees up the human manager for the trickier stuff.
Yeah.
That's a real efficiency gain.
It's like having tireless virtual support.
Totally. And it goes beyond just chatbots. GAI analytics can monitor data from IoT devices in buildings, sensors, thermostats, and proactively spot potential problems. Like, hey, this HVAC unit is acting weird. Might need checking soon.
Proactive maintenance. That's the dream, isn't it?
It really helps. So the bottom line impact, better efficiency, obviously,
Yeah.
but also happier tenants.
Right. Faster answers, fewer breakdowns.
Yeah. EY noted how common these tenant service bots are becoming for things like maintenance and rent. It means lower labor costs eventually, and better tenant retention because people aren't getting frustrated.
Any examples of, like, building management AI impact?
JLL's Hank AI is a good one.
Yeah.
They reported energy savings of 20 to 45% just by optimizing HVAC without making tenants uncomfortable. That's real money.
Okay, compelling. Let's move to number 3, leasing and marketing automation. This feels like another area where efficiency could be huge.
It really is. Think about all the effort that goes into attracting tenants or self-storage customers. Writing brochures, website copy, digital ads, customizing pitches.
Time-consuming and costs money.
Absolutely. So GenAI can step in and automate a lot of that content creation.
How so?
It can generate really high-quality marketing copy, compelling property descriptions, engaging social media posts, even virtual staging images for empty spaces.
Virtual staging, so you don't need physical furniture.
Exactly. Make spaces look appealing online much faster and cheaper.
Yeah.
Plus, the AI, these language models, can tailor the message. Different pitch for a national retailer versus a local boutique, you know.
Personalization at scale.
You got it. Highlighting what matters most to that specific prospect.
So the benefit here is faster leasing, getting those spaces filled quicker.
Yes, faster leasing cycles, definitely. And lower marketing spend. You can launch campaigns in days, not weeks, because the content generation is so fast.
Right.
Industry watchers say it significantly boosts prospect engagement. For DealPoint Merrill, that means less vacancy time, a leaner marketing team, probably more leads, and faster lease up on those redevelopments. Better cash flow, ultimately.
Okay, use case 4, investor relations and capital raising automation. This sounds like dealing with a lot of paperwork and communication.
It absolutely is, especially for a sponsor like DealPoint Merrill doing co-investment deals. You've got offering memorandums, quarterly reports, endless due diligence questions.
Keeps the IR team busy.
Very busy. And it can slow down the actual capital raising, which is critical.
So how can GenAI streamline that?
Imagine an AI-powered IR assistant. Maybe an intelligent chatbot trained on all the firm's investment data, deal docs, everything.
Okay.
Investors could ask it questions anytime and get instant, accurate answers based on the official materials.
So investors get answers faster.
Much faster.
Right.
And the AI can also help draft things, personalized updates for different investor groups, polishing presentations. It ensures consistency and professionalism.
Could it tailor communications based on investor type?
Potentially, yes. Highlighting aspects of a deal that match a specific investor's known interests. That could even help broaden their investor base.
So the main advantage is freeing up the human IR team.
That's a big part of it. More efficient, more scalable capital raising. Investors have a better experience getting info quickly. The team saves tons of time on repetitive document tasks and answering basic questions.
Right.
EY found GenAI really helps streamline creating marketing materials and presentations, letting firms handle more investors with less manual work.
Which means?
Faster equity closes, maybe needing a smaller, dedicated IR team, and just building more investor confidence through better, faster communication.
Okay, final use case. Acquisitions, due diligence, and portfolio analytics. This sounds like digging through mountains of data.
It often is. When you're looking at buying a property or just tracking how your current assets are doing, you're wading through leases, financials, market reports.
Easy to miss something important, especially under pressure.
Very easy. So GenAI can be a huge help here.
How? What can it do?
It can read and summarize complex documents like leases or contracts incredibly quickly, flagging weird clauses or potential risks automatically.
Okay, like an automated first pass.
Exactly. It can even generate initial financial projections for a potential deal based on the data provided. and for the existing portfolio.
Yeah.
It can analyze performance data to find insights like, hey, this underperforming retail space might be perfect for converting to self-storage based on local demand.
So for their Just Storage brand, it could analyze occupancy and demand?
Precisely, suggesting where and when to expand Just Storage next based on data, not just gut feel.
So it's about faster, deeper analysis for better decisions.
Exactly. Better decision-making, better risk mitigation. AI makes due diligence faster and probably more thorough. It gives you data-backed reasons to do a deal or reveals red flags you might have missed.
Could it really cut down diligence time significantly?
Potentially, yeah, from weeks down to days in some cases for that initial review. And it can surface opportunities within the existing portfolio that might have been overlooked.
So ultimately, more informed investment choices and catching problems earlier.
That's the goal.
Okay, so we've covered 5 specific areas. Let's peel back a bit. What's the sort of big picture strategic value for a company like DealPoint Merrill embracing Gen AI?
It hits on several really critical levels. First, there's the obvious operational efficiency gain.
Right, automating repetitive tasks.
Exactly. We heard that example of a CRE firm extracting rent roll data in seconds work that used to take multiple people a week. That kind of efficiency means lower operating costs, both from smarter building management like the JLL energy savings, and just less admin burden.
Makes total sense. What about the top line? Revenue.
Yeah, revenue growth is another big one. Shorter development cycles, faster leasing. That means getting properties generating income sooner.
Even small accelerations add up.
They really do. Plus, the data analytics we talked about, that can uncover new revenue streams. Maybe dynamic pricing for self-storage based on real-time demand, or super targeted marketing for retail tenants willing to pay a premium.
And the faster capital raising.
Right. If you can raise funds quicker, you can do more deals, maybe bigger deals. That boosts your net operating income, drives overall growth. Leaders in the space are saying AI's predictive power is fundamentally changing how real estate decisions get made, unlocking hidden value.
And it's not just numbers, right? What about the people involved, tenants, investors?
Absolutely crucial. Tenant and customer satisfaction gets a boost from faster responses, proactive service like fixing the AC before it fails, and fewer mistakes.
Happy tenants, happy life.
Sort of. A satisfied tenant is more likely to renew their lease, maybe recommend the Just Storage facility that cuts down your vacancy risk. And offering personalized service, like tailoring retail space options, just meets modern expectations. It builds loyalty.
So better efficiency, more revenue, happier stakeholders. It sounds pretty compelling.
It is. And don't forget the improved decision-making and risk management piece.
Right, the AI digesting all that data.
Yeah, it leads to faster, more fact-based decisions on what properties to buy, sell, or redevelop. And critically, it flags those risks, weird lease terms, unexpected market shifts, potential cost overruns that humans might miss.
Avoiding costly mistakes.
Exactly, and strengthening compliance. Having that ability to rapidly scan data for concerns is a huge advantage, especially when markets get choppy.
Okay, one last piece of the strategic puzzle. Market positioning. How does adopting Gen AI affect how DealPoint Merrill is perceived?
It positions them as innovators, as forward-thinking. That's a differentiator in a pretty crowded market.
Being seen as smarter, faster.
Yeah. Offering better service, executing projects more intelligently. You know, the whole disrupt or be disrupted thing is very real in real estate right now.
So early movers gain an edge.
Definitely. Investing in Gen AI now isn't just about short-term gains. It's about building long-term resilience and boosting the company's overall value.
Okay, this paints a really powerful picture, but let's get practical. For DealPoint Merrill wanting to actually do this, what are the steps? What's the implementation roadmap look like?
Right, you can't just flip a switch. It needs a structured, phased approach. Phase 1 is absolutely foundational: data preparation and governance.
Getting your data house in order.
Exactly. You need to audit your data property info, leases, financials, organize it, make sure it's good quality, consistent, and accessible, and crucially, set up clear rules, governance policies for privacy and security.
Can't build AI on messy data.
Nope. Experts always stress this. Collect and share accurate data and institute governance first. This phase is also where you identify your data sources and pick the right tech infrastructure.
Okay, data foundation first. What's phase 2?
Phase 2 is about pilot projects. Proofs of concept. Start small, pick a use case that promises high impact but isn't overly complex.
All right.
Maybe that tenant chatbot for just one self-storage location. Or using Gen AI for marketing content for just one redevelopment project.
Test the waters.
Exactly. The goal is to validate the tech, get feedback from the people who'd actually use it, and measure the results. Did it save time? Did tenants like it? You need clear goals and user involvement for pilots to work.
Makes sense. Prove it works on a small scale before going big. What's phase 3?
Phase 3 is process integration and change management. This is where you take the successful pilots and start embedding them into daily workflows, scaling them up.
So making it part of how we do things around here.
Precisely, which might mean changing existing processes, updating your standard operating procedures, and this is where change management becomes critical.
Dealing with the human side.
Yes. Training staff on the new tools, addressing resistance, because there often is some communicating the benefits clearly. You have to reassure people it's about augmenting their jobs, not replacing them, and really highlight those early wins from the pilots.
Okay. Integrate and manage the change. What's the final phase?
Phase 4 is the full rollout and continuous improvement. You deploy the proven solutions across the whole organization, following a clear roadmap. Maybe function by function or property by property.
And it doesn't stop there, right?
Definitely not. You need a constant feedback loop. Keep monitoring the results against what you expected. Keep refining the AI models and the processes.
AI needs ongoing care and feeding.
Absolutely. Ongoing governance is key, checking for accuracy, bias, security. And because Gen AI tech is evolving so fast, you have to stay updated, keep learning, keep improving. It's a continuous cycle. EY actually recommends having a formal Gen AI transformation roadmap.
Okay, a very clear phased approach. Now, listeners at DealPoint Merrill might be thinking, this sounds great, but how do we actually get this done? How could a partner like OMA help?
Well, OMA is interesting because they bring together that deep CRE knowledge with the AI engineering chops. That's a pretty valuable combo. They focus on building custom Gen AI solutions, not just off-the-shelf stuff.
Tailored to the real estate world.
Exactly. Tailored specifically to what a company like DealPoint Merrill actually needs.
So what kind of specific help could they offer?
One big area is AI agent deployment. They build those chatbots and virtual assistants we talked about and make sure they integrate smoothly with existing systems.
Like the tenant chatbot or the investor assistant?
Precisely. An agent that actually understands DealPoint's specific lease language or property details. OMA handles the security, compliance, making sure the interaction feels natural.
That sounds really useful. What else?
Knowledge-based engineering. This is huge. Remember phase 1? Data. OMA helps structure all those documents, plans, leases, financials, so the AI can actually access and use the information effectively.
Building the AI's brain, essentially.
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah.
Using techniques like embedding databases, semantic search, they know both real estate data and AI data pipelines, which is key for getting reliable results. That knowledge base becomes the backbone for lots of different AI uses.
Okay, so getting the data ready for AI. What about the capital raising side?
Yeah, capital raising automation. OMA can build tools to help automate generating parts of pitch decks, offering docs, investor updates, pulling data from asset management systems or CRMs.
So less manual effort for the IR team.
Much less. Allows for more personalized outreach to more investors, potentially speeding up the whole fundraising cycle.
And for DealPoint Merrill's core development work.
They offer development workflow optimization, using AI to help with project planning, maybe AI-assisted design tools suggesting optimal layouts within CAD software, or even using computer vision for construction monitoring.
Streamlining the whole build process.
That's the goal. Finding bottlenecks, speeding up approvals, getting a real-time predictive view of how projects are performing, practical stuff that saves time and reduces errors.
It sounds like OMA offers a pretty comprehensive package, specifically for real estate needs.
That's their value prop, yeah. Being that strategic AI partner who gets both CRE and AI, custom solutions, plus the collaboration, training, and change management support needed to actually make it work.
Well, this has been a fascinating deep dive. It's really clear that generative AI isn't just some abstract concept. It has real, tangible potential for a company like DealPoint Merrill.
Absolutely. We've walked through how it can seriously boost operational efficiency, speed up development and leasing, deliver much richer insights for decision-making.
Make tenants and investors happier.
Right, and ultimately position the company as a leader ready for the future.
And these aren't just vague benefits. We're talking potential for real increases in NOI, measurable reductions in labor hours, a much smoother operation overall.
It really makes you think, doesn't it? And this brings us to a final provocative thought for you, our listener.
Okay.
How might these AI tools fundamentally reshape the day-to-day work, the actual jobs, and the big strategic calls within a CRE firm? We're moving past simple automation to, like, truly intelligent partners. What new roles, what new skills become essential in that AI-driven future of commercial real estate?
That's a big question to ponder. Definitely food for thought. And for DealPoint Merrill, thinking about this practically, the next step seems clear, doesn't it?
Yeah, probably sitting down for an AI strategy session, maybe with OA, to really pinpoint and prioritize which of these use cases makes the most sense for their specific goals right now.
And I understand OMA is offering an initial consultation, maybe some demos.
That's right. A free initial chat, live demos, a chance to see how these tools might work with their own data and ask those really specific questions. It's a good way to explore the possibilities seriously.
So the key takeaway here really is Gen AI isn't science fiction anymore. It's here, it's powerful, and the potential rewards are substantial.
Definitely. For companies in CRE like DealPoint Merrill taking thoughtful, strategic steps now, well, that's how you gain that competitive edge and set yourself up for long-term success in a market that's changing fast.